Well, good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. It is Friday. You made it to Friday. Congratulations. Yes, you did, and hopefully you didn't hurt anybody, did you? Good, 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 good. We have a quick morning report on Friday. We know that you want to get on with the day and get your weekend started. So we're going to cover just a couple of things today. Listen, our YouTube channel is like right on the precipice, right there on the edge of reaching 500, which is a milestone for us. Now, it doesn't do anything for us. No, it's complete vanity. We get to 500, which is half of the 1,000 that we need to even for them to consider monetization. Now, are we going to get monetized? Probably not. We are sitting right now waiting for one of the strikes to expire, and it'll expire in April, and hopefully we won't get another one in the meantime. But we're going to do whatever we have to do. Um, I'm not looking to make a lot of money. What I'm hoping to do, frankly, which is why I'm seeking monetization, because some people, why are even buying? Because what I'm hoping to do is make enough through monetization of Facebook that pays for our Spreaker. So this thing kind of pays for itself. I think that's a conservative approach, right? If we can make it so it pays for itself and it doesn't come out of our household budget, that would be very good. And I don't have to ask you for money. I spent a lot of time early on in this asking for your money. And we had some people who got out their debit card and typed it right in, and I appreciate that. But I don't want it to get to that. I don't want to go back to that. I really don't. So if I could make this pay for itself, um, and the only thing that's monetizing at any real rate right now would be YouTube. And if YouTube pays for the Spreaker, it's kind of like this. We may have to control what we say here on YouTube, but we can say whatever we want over on Spreaker. And if YouTube pays for it, you feel me? That's why it's worth it. That is why it's worth it. All right. We're gonna take a little break. We're back with more of the program right after these messages.
If you are a true blue conservative, small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or phone number. My florist is Blooming Days Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop. At 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com.
Okay, the train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. When most of us saw it happen, we knew that it was only minutes, seconds, really, before this administration or people in the administration or the mainstream media were going to find a way to blame Trump for it. Well, because it is one of those things that we're doing in this culture now. We're blaming the president or the CEO or the manager for everything that goes wrong in place. If it rains, it's Trump's fault. If it doesn't rain, it's Trump's fault. And I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of Republicans do the very same thing with Obama. It's our culture now. It's a bad thing in our culture, but it's our culture. So it was just minutes before we would find out from mainstream media and some of the people in the Biden administration that this East Palestine, Ohio train derailment that is a toxic threat was somehow Trump's fault. But during an interview aired on Thursday's broadcast, last night's broadcast of CNN's The Lead, National Transportation Safety Board chair Jennifer Hamadeh stated that while electronically controlled pneumatic brakes would make things safer when it comes to the East Palestine or Ohio derailment, even the ECP brakes, even with those brakes, the derailment would have occurred. The fire would have ensued. The 5 vinyl chloride tanks would have still vented and burned. And the best possibly we could have reduced damage where a couple of cars may have remained on the tracks. But modeling still needs to be done to determine this. So the ECP, what do they call them again? Let me see if I can find them. The electronically controlled pneumatic brakes. Might have kept a couple of cars on the track, but the derailment would have still happened. However, host Jake Tapper asked, even with the 20 cars with toxic materials under current safety rules, the train did not qualify for designation as a high hazard flammable train, which it would have gotten, or required at least new safer braking systems. So the rule as it stands right now clearly was inadequate for the citizens of East Palestine. So why not add newer braking systems to any train carrying hazardous materials, not just those of more than 20 cars that hazardous materials? That's what he asked. How many answered this? The NTSB has looked at electronically controlled pneumatic braking for a number of years, and we did some testing as well. Certainly will improve safety, but for this investigation and for this derailment, ECP brakes would not have prevented the derailment. The wheel bearing failed on car 23, and the 5 vinyl chloride tanks would still have vented and burned. Jake Tapper is trying desperately to attach Trump to this. Mohammed saying what happened anyway. A wheel bearing failed. It would have happened anyway. It wouldn't have mattered. This was not the cause. As much as you're trying to make it the cause, it's not the cause. During a Twitter thread on Valentine's Day, Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg stated that the Department of Transportation is, quote, constrained by the law on some areas of rail regulation, like the ECP brake rule. That's not true. Well, this idea somehow that Trump is responsible because he didn't allow these brakes to be put on trains is ridiculous and not true. And the director of the NTSB has as much said so. We'll be back. More of the program. So is it okay now, because it was, during the Trump administration, it is okay to talk about the president's
yeah. We talked about mental health elderly, so let's talk about this guy's mental health.
The president's mental acuity, because there's sometimes where it seems to be lacking. Have you seen?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's especially bad. I'm talking about sometimes it's like really bad. Like, have you seen the picture?
I was told not to take any questions.
I was told not to take any questions. They're going to be mad at me.
They're going to be mad at me.
Mr.
President, are you the president or were you 5?
You see, what I want. See, the next question is, excuse me, Mr. President.
I was told to call on what you call it for NBC. Who's telling you to call on?
That's the question that we ought to be asking. Who's telling you this?
I don't understand why nobody won't ask that question.
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Who's telling you to call on these people in the media?
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Probably so.
Welcome back. After nearly 3 weeks after the Norfolk Southern train carrying toxic chemicals derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, former failed mayor and current Biden Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg finally visited the town today, I think, and took a tour of potentially contaminated areas. Really didn't go all that well. He was escorted away from the media while his press secretary makes herself known and says she'll answer questions for him, but only if she isn't recorded on camera. Huh? What? Are you kidding me? He kept getting asked why it took so long, why it took so long. One reporter asked, "You sent your first tweet expressing concern for the residents of East Palestine a week and a half after the accident happened." First of all, it took a week and a half. You using hindsight, was this waiting too long to express anything? Yes, he said. Really? Again, tried to shift blame to what we just talked about, to the ECP breaks. We just learned from the NTSB that that wouldn't have made any difference at all. The fact of the matter is, and this is going to be really tough for people to understand, they don't care. They don't care. Pete Buttigieg cares more about racist highways than what happened to those nice people there who are in. And it's hard to, it's hard to split this up and not talk about it. They're in a pretty red area politically. And when you get people like Joy Behar saying, "This is what you voted for," really? And at the same time, I love this idea. Pipelines don't move. Pipelines don't derail. Trucks, trains, they do. Pipelines, when once built, don't emit any emissions. So moving this stuff on pipelines makes a bunch more sense. I don't know if moving vinyl chloride on a pipeline is feasible, but we need to start looking in. We need to start looking in to some of these things about moving them through pipelines as opposed to moving them on trains and trucks. Don't you think? If we're indeed concerned about people, if we're indeed concerned about global climate change and those kind of things, how do you get these trucks and trains out of service? Build a pipeline. If something happens to the pipeline, you know where it is. You can isolate it quickly and you handle it. With a train, with trucks, a lot more difficult, isn't it? All right, remember, folks, we are on the precipice. I think this channel is 3 or 4 people away from hanging there on the benchmark. So if you could like and subscribe and share and comment, like and subscribe and share and comment onto this video, I'll be really highly appreciative. Thank you ever so much. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, don't take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you. Bye bye now.